The apple tree is the biggest lie ever sold to the American gardener. For every dollar you spend spraying, pruning, and babysitting one apple tree, there are 13 trees that produce more fruit, resist every disease, and ask for nothing in return. Trees your great-grandmother grew without thinking twice. Trees that someone decided were bad for business. 13 trees exposed, recovered from the margins of history. And this is their story. The archive opens on a morning sometime in the 1920s. An American farm wife walks her orchard before the children wake. She doesn't grow apples. She grows 13 trees you've likely never heard of. This is their story. And this is what happened to them. Before European boots touched this soil, the Cree were drying these berries into pemmican, a survival food that kept warriors alive through 7-month winters. The archive knows this tree by its oldest name, a melanchier, the first American berry. It grows in zones 2 through 9, 25 pounds of fruit per year, no spray, no fuss. And it handles cedar apple rust well, though the archive must note, if junipers grow nearby in humid climates, rust pressure can build. Plant with that in mind. It tastes like a blueberry that somehow married an almond. The birds know this. That's why they get there before you do. Every state park in America has service berries growing wild right now. Nobody picks them. Nobody even remembers what they are. In medieval Europe, every monastery had one of these. The medlar is the only fruit on earth that asks you to wait until it rots. The process is called bledding. The flesh softens, starches turn to sugar, and what was once hard and bitter becomes something like apple butter left too long in the sun. Shakespeare wrote about it. Chaucer mentioned it. It grows in zones 4 through 9, and it will produce for decades on nothing more than rain and patience. The monk's fruit, that's what the archive calls it. We stopped growing it the moment we decided food should look perfect on a shelf. 7,000 years. That's how long humans have been growing this tree. Greek warriors carried the dried berries into battle. The wood was so hard that Romans made spear shafts from it. Zones 4 through 8, 40 pounds of tart, olive-sized fruit every year. And despite the name, it is not a cherry. Not even close. The name is the only thing they share. 7,000 years of cultivation, forgotten in a single generation. In the mountains of southern China, a vine no thicker than your thumb has been feeding villages for centuries. They call it che. In the West, you might know it as the hardy kiwi, grape-sized, smooth-skinned, sweeter than anything you'll find in a grocery store. Zones 4 through 9, 100 pounds per vine. No pests, no spray, no drama. Small, prolific, forgotten. And these 4, these were the quiet ones. They were forgotten without anyone even trying. These 4 were forgotten quietly. The next 3 survived something worse. 4,000 years ago, in the Yellow River Valley, farmers laid these fruits on reed mats and let the desert sun do the work. The Jujube, the desert survivor. This tree has survived temperatures that would kill a peach in an hour. 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Drought that would brown every lawn on your street. It simply does not care. Zones 5 through 10, 40 to 80 pounds of fruit per year. Sweet when fresh, like a crisp apple. Even sweeter when dried, like a date with more character. It endured what no apple could. And it's been doing it for 4,000 years. Captain John Smith wrote this in 1607. When it is not ripe, it will draw a man's mouth awry with much torment. He was not exaggerating. Eat one too early, and your tongue will feel like sandpaper for an hour. But wait. Wait until that first frost hits. Wait until the skin wrinkles and the flesh turns to something that tastes like honey warmed by firelight. Then you'll understand why the Powhatan built their entire autumn around this one tree. Zones 4 through 9. 35 to 75 pounds. Native to this continent long before any colonists stepped off a boat. It fed the Powhatan. It fed the colonists who nearly starved without it. Then, we forgot it. Meriwether Lewis wrote in his expedition journal that the men had eaten nothing but pawpaw for 3 days straight. It was the only thing between them and starvation. And here's what makes this tree hard to believe. It tastes like the tropics. Mango, banana, custard. It grows in Ohio. Zones 5 through 9, 25 to 50 pounds. 0 pests, because nothing in North America has evolved to eat it, except us. It tastes like it belongs in the Caribbean. It grows where it snows. Nobody plants it. In the 1940s, somewhere in Kentucky, children walked barefoot to the tree line with tin buckets. Persimmon, mulberry, pawpaw. Nobody called it organic. Nobody called it anything. It was just food. But forgetting is passive. What happened to these next trees was not. For centuries, European villages kept an elder tree by the back door. Not for decoration, for medicine. Zones 3 through 9, 12 to 15 pounds of dark, potent berries every summer. But the archive needs to be direct with you here. Do not eat them raw. Seeds and stems carry cyanogenic glycosides. Cook them. Always cook them. The healing is real. The danger is also real. Both things are true at the same time. Now, a 2019 meta-analysis in complementary therapies in medicine looked at 180 participants across multiple trials. What they found: elderberry supplementation significantly reduced both the duration and severity of upper respiratory symptoms. The science finally caught up, about 5 centuries late. 11,000 years ago, in a Neolithic village near Jericho, someone placed 9 figs into the ground. They stayed there for 11 millennia, until archaeologists pulled them back into the light. In 2006, a team led by Kislev, Hartman, and Bar Yosef published their finding in Science. 9 carbonized figs, 11,400 years old. The oldest known cultivated crop on Earth. Older than wheat, older than barley, older than the very idea of farming. Think about that. We didn't invent agriculture with grain, we invented it with figs. Zones 7 through 10 outdoors, self-fertile, 30 to 100 pounds per tree. Pliny the Elder wrote about it. Greek myths claimed it held forbidden knowledge. 11,000 years of history, and most Americans have never grown one. The golden apple of Greek mythology? Almost certainly. A quince, fragrant, dense, impossible to eat raw, but heat transforms it into something ancient and extraordinary. Paste, preserve, jam that tastes like autumn distilled into a jar. Zones 5 through 9, reliable rootstock for pears, disease-resistant in most conditions. But the archive needs to correct something. There's a claim that circulates widely that quince is resistant to fire blight. It is not. Cornell Cooperative Extension has confirmed this. Quince is susceptible. It is not immune. It's not even reliably resistant in humid eastern climates. The information around this fruit has been more deceptive than the fruit itself. Plant it with awareness, not with false confidence. In Japan, there are Asian pear trees that have been bearing fruit for over a century. Same tree, same roots, still producing. 100 pounds per tree, crisp, sweet. You eat it straight off the branch, juicier than any apple and with no spray required. Zones 4 through 9. Over 100 commercial varieties exist, and you've probably never seen one at a farmer's market. 100 pounds, zero spray, decades of fruit. It asks for nothing. But there is one tree the archive has been holding back. You may have heard its name. You may have one growing in a crack in your sidewalk right now, because that is how little we value it. Municipalities cut it down. Nurseries refuse to carry it. Homeowner associations ban it. And none of that is an accident. The archive saved this one for last. There's a reason. 13 trees, 12 recovered from the margins. But this last one? This one was too good for its own good. 3,000 years ago, silkworm farmers in China built an empire on this tree. The silk trade. The Silk Road itself. All of it, fed, literally, by the mulberry. Zones 4 through 10. Self-fertile, drought-tolerant, fast-growing, no pruning, no spray, no fertilizer, no negotiation. 600 pounds of fruit, per tree, per year. Let that settle. 600 pounds, from a tree that costs you nothing to maintain. A tree that most nurseries will not carry. Because, and this is the quiet part, if you plant one mulberry tree, you will never need their sprays, their fertilizers, or their apple trees again. A 2019 study in food chemistry confirmed what Silk Road traders already knew 3,000 years ago. The mulberry's anthocyanin profile rivals that of the blueberry. The tree your nursery never mentions. Maybe the most nutritious fruit tree you can grow. 600 pounds, zero cost, ancient as empire, as nutritious as the most expensive berry on the shelf, and they cut it down to keep the sidewalks clean. 13 trees, forgotten, survived, suppressed. Not one of them needs your chemicals. Not one of them needs your anxiety. They just need your soil. And they have been waiting, some of them for thousands of years, for someone to remember. That farm wife in the 1920s? Her orchard fed 4 generations. No spray, no subsidies, no permission from anyone. Just trees that remembered how to grow. Your grandmother knew these trees. Her grandmother knew them. Their grandmothers knew them for 10,000 years. Then one generation forgot. You are the generation that remembers. If knowledge like this shouldn't be lost again, you know what to do. The archive closes.